Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of Let's Be Real. I'm Tara.
And I'm Sherry.
And we've got more just hubbub for you.
There
You're
you go.
listening.
Give it to you.
This will be a nice, easy, digestible, short commute. You're just driving to TJ Maxx today episode.
All right. That sounds good. Get us something good while you're there.
Yeah, I need luggage. So you can buy me,
luggage
some
for
luggage.
all her traveling needs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always that. No more Amazon luggage for me.
When the handle falls off and
No, the inside of my luggage was wet when I went to Iceland.
Ew.
And I got back, and it's obviously very wet in Iceland, and so it got back, and there was definitely some water in our clothes. Not all of it, but enough for me to be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna fill this with clothes I was already donating and just give it to Plato's or Goodwill or something.
There you go. Sounds good.
So yeah, buy me new luggage. Feel bad for me. Oh no.
Oh, how
these
sad.
trips.
You're so bougie bitch. Bougie.
That's true. I am my mother's daughter. Anyway, so today is a response to a comment or like a small trend we've been seeing in our TikTok comments of people being a little shady about the content we post. And I don't want to call anybody out because I don't think they're actually a listener. I think that they just kind of absorb the short clips that we post online.
Yeah, that's okay. We want people to. I'm not against people having something to say.
I agree.
If you want to say something negative, that's okay. That's you're still giving us views. But the whole idea,
we love the engagement.
The whole idea is that I would like to respond to it for the fact of giving another view on it.
Yeah. Exactly. So we had an episode a few weeks ago. It's hard to track when we gather episodes all together and we release them slowly. But it was about the fact that you and I do not treat acute addiction. So active addiction where someone needs like a facility, whether it's, and we're not even talking about detox. Obviously I'm not equipped to, hopefully that's obvious, that I'm not equipped to deal with detox.
Because we're not in a detox.
I don't own a facility. I don't have nursing staff. I don't have a doctor on staff. It is little old me and my dog. And she is not paid. So we're not.
Is she going to sniff for drugs?
No, she might be curious about that, but then she's going to go right back to sleep.
There you go.
But even post-detox, you and I don't offer like that early recovery.
We're not a rehab.
It is a specific set of skills. It is a specific therapy. It can be very complicated.
Right.
Mentioning trauma, comorbidity with other disorders that aren't substance use or misuse.
Right.
And then just the family aspect of it, which I don't think I need to mention how much I want to stay away from that.
Agreed.
It's a family disorder, right?
Right.
And just to extend beyond that too, it's not that Sherry and I won't do it or won't be trained in it. Well, it's a can't and it's a won't. We can't do it because we already have our breadth of resources and our choice of ideal client, which that doesn't make us anti anybody or anything.
Right. And honestly, if you're dealing with somebody as a therapist in the manner that I am, or yourself, that is intoxicated and comes into your office, I cannot treat them.
Correct.
And the reason why is because it's not treatable at that moment. So it's not I don't want to deal with you drug addicts. That's not what I'm saying.
Correct.
Right? It's this person is not actively able to use any coping skill other than their choice of addiction at that point.
Yeah.
Right? And so therefore they're not teachable at that moment. They need to be in a facility, or they need to not be on drugs. They cannot come into my office.
Right.
And that is a standard of treatment.
And that's not a comment on character.
No.
That's not a comment on our personal feelings towards someone who uses substances.
Does that mean that I don't work with people who have a substance abuse history? Absolutely not. That does not mean that. Right. I work with people who have had all kinds of addictions. Are they actively using? No.
Right.
As long as I know. And I have been very clear with my clients that if you come in high or low on purpose on a substance, I cannot see you, and I will ask for us to reschedule.
Yes.
Because it's a safety issue for me, and it's a safety issue for you.
Right.
So
we can't practice what we practice, and it's not even about ethics. We just can't do it effectively.
It's not going to be helpful to that client or to us. They know that, and I'm not actively in the game of. It's not a game. Sorry, I'm not actively in this situation. I'm not a CAP, a certified addiction professional. I am not a MCAP, whatever that is. I'm sorry. I'm not in all. I don't have those letters, and I think that it's not fair to the client coming to you. That's like saying, I'm going to send my client to you because they need EMDR and you know about it.
Yeah.
Is that fair to them?
Correct.
No, because are you going to pretend to do EMDR with them? I'm not saying you don't have the ability, but if you haven't, it's a very specific
It's problematic.
thing, right?
If you're acting outside of your scope.
Exactly. And so therefore, that is a professional statement of saying, no, those are outside of my scope of practice.
Yes.
That is a professional statement, and I stick with it.
Absolutely.
So I'm not saying that I don't want to or help people who have addictions, but there are other people who will better serve them.
Yeah, no, I want to help everybody. I
right.
That's a nice want to have. Realistically,
but
I only have
so
realistic. Many hours that I can be on camera with so many, because I run an only virtual practice, that I can be in that treatment situation with so many people.
Right.
And it does me no good to have 20 plus clients with 20 plus completely different diagnoses or concerns.
I'm absolutely doing nobody a service if I continually say I can work with everything. That's like when you first get out of when you first get onto psychology today and you have really never sat down and narrowed in what you work with, or when you first get with an insurance company. It sounds really great to check off every box of what you work with, but that is a lie. And there are so many providers out there that will check off every box because people think that they're looking for people like they're looking for hashtags. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
So I am not a CBT, which is DBT therapist. So, which is a different type of therapy, right? With personality disorders. I'm not trained in that. Would I check the box off? No. Do I want to check the box off? No, because I'm not trained and I don't want to go and do something unethical and somebody thinking that I'm doing what they supposedly need.
Right. So you would not go to your doctor and ask them to treat you for a tumor and they're your, ear, nose, and throat doctor and then be offended that they refuse to practice
Why do you think we
oncology on you?
Exactly. And why do you think we have a specialty for everything? Because it's gotten a little out of control.
It has.
It has. But when, I don't say, like, I'm a trauma therapist and you are as well, but we do things, we use different modalities.
Yes, we do.
And so I'm not saying that you're less of a therapist, trauma therapist, or I'm less of one because we do different things.
Right.
We're both dealing with trauma, and trauma has to do with so many scopes. So yes, an addiction is going to come up.
Yeah.
And most people a lot of people are dealing with trauma that are using alcohol or substances as a coping skill because they don't have any anymore. Right? That's what it comes down to. So yes, when you're in rehab or some kind of program, they're going to teach you about those things. Then you come to me and I will help you with the mental health side.
Exactly what we were trying to say.
Right. And so again, because when you see on TikTok and we have a short clip, you're getting a not a full version of what we're talking about. So it looks like I'm saying, fuck you people, I'm not working with you. That's not what I'm saying.
No, not at all. And something that I think is worth clarifying that seemed to have brought the point home with this particular comments thread is we do refer. Maybe that got lost in the mix somewhere. We do refer. We absolutely fulfill our professional obligation and desire. It's not just an obligation.
Right. It's not just here's some rant. It's not like when you're in Walmart and someone says, oh, I think it might be on aisle 10 over there. And you have no idea. So now this person's like 12 aisles away from you and they're never going to find you again. Right. That's like sending you away and hoping you'll figure it out.
Right.
I have very specific entities that I refer my clients to. Or if somebody is calls my office and speaks to Casey, my office manager, and they say they're looking for somebody that deals with addictions, then she would say, I'm sorry, we don't do that, but I can give you names of different people.
Exactly. That's your primary concern.
Right.
We're just not equipped.
Yes.
But it's not good luck to you.
Right. Otherwise, you want me to sit there in front of you and say, why don't you just stop?
And then I'm going to bill your insurance or bill you personally.
Could you just stop drinking already?
Have you thought about abstinence?
Right. Could you?
Now
I mean, those, I know.
Now we sound like the public school system in sex.
Right? I mean, I know it's way more than that, but I don't have the tools in my, you know what? I could go get them. It's not, but I don't think that makes me a bad person or a bad therapist because I don't want to go get that.
Okay, so we could absolutely spend a couple of days away from our practice, spending time in a program that will teach us these skills, and then we could provide these skills to more clients. But you and I don't necessarily need to spread ourselves any wider than we already have.
And that's the problem. That's why this field, because we could work in so many different things, right? I could, we had a whole episode of this already, but there's so many things that I could get myself into.
Yeah.
I don't have the bandwidth to go and learn every single thing. I don't work with eating disorders. I will work with, I think we talked about this earlier, you and I, disordered eating if it has to do with a trauma.
Yep.
If it has to do with we want to see is this, you've done other things and we're going to see, are we still stuck in this and that's causing this? Absolutely.
Yep.
I will do that. But I could name at least 20 things off the top of my head that's not me. And that's why they're specialties.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Exactly that. And it's not about, just to be abundantly clear, we're not sorry about the space we do take up. And I'm also not sorry about the space I can't take up.
It shouldn't be, yeah.
If there was room to grow that no one is addressing, I would be happy to bring that up.
Absolutely.
But we just covered perinatal mental health care.
Right.
Like a month ago.
She's in my practice, but I don't even pretend to know enough about that. That's why I would say, Casey, let's put this person with Dawn Shell, right? Because that's Dawn Shell's niche.
Yes.
And she's trained in that, and she's continuing to train in that because that's her passion.
Exactly.
And my passion is trauma.
Right.
And that's where my gift is. And then I have another therapist that her passion is working with teenagers. And I would want to murder them. No, I'm just kidding. But that's not my passion.
That's why you hire people
that
cover, like you own a group practice.
Yes.
Where you don't try to cover one. You don't try to be everybody, and you're not trying to just build a group practice on one population. You're trying to spread. You're trying to make the strength of your practice the strength of all of your therapists as well.
Absolutely.
And leaving as few weaknesses as possible. Right.
Exactly.
And maybe we would consider not specifically treating acute addiction as a weakness. I don't see it as a weakness. I see it because you use your referral system, which is exactly what we're.
And I think that was I'm listening to the comment in my head because and I'm not offended at all by this comment, but the idea is it's almost like a value statement of you think that there's something wrong. Like, are you too good to work with this population? Is kind of and I don't think I am. That's not what I'm saying. I just feel that's not in my wheelhouse, and I'm going to stay on that. I think everybody deserves a therapist who is in the same playing field.
Right. Gets it. On board with what you're trying to get support for. Like
and let's be honest, a lot of people that work in substance abuse also have a history of substance abuse issues. I do not. I cannot relate in that sense.
Right. And remember when I said that these have the potential to be complicated cases?
Yes.
It's because when we're in these facilities, when we're supporting addicts who are becoming sober and becoming clean, they're reinforced with their team, peer support, groups, programs, like ongoing care, which are just not systems that I'm equipped to employ in my practice.
Agreed. Right. And I'm okay if that's all in place for them. Mm-hmm. Again, I will work with the trauma piece while they're working and they're actively in AA, NA, whatever group that is for them, because those aren't all for everybody either. So when they have their group, and I'm just part of that group. Mm-hmm. I'm part of this, where we can all work together. I have no qualms about it. I don't think poorly of it, but we live in a state. Specifically, we live in South Florida, where there's one on every corner.
There are so many specialists. When I even got into social work, well before I became licensed, mm-hmm. I did work in a treatment facility, and unfortunately, I worked in a treatment facility that was very bad for treatment.
Well, honestly, that's put a bad taste in my mouth, all of that. So
I don't want to go back to that. And I know that the field as a whole and that treatment modality, that's not a representation of the entire field of treatment. But for me, it was just like how I've explained ad nauseum about how I feel about family therapy. Me too. My first impression was enough. I'm good.
And everybody has their skills, so stay in your lane.
And also, to be completely transparent, I do have either a family or personal history where I'm not prepared to open that up for treatment of other people. That's my own journey.
Exactly.
And your session's going to quickly turn into mine, and we don't need to do that to you.
No, and I think that makes you a good therapist because you recognize that.
I think so,
too.
I
think we fully beat the hell out of this one. And I absolutely think that anybody, I'm just going to leave it on this. I think that any therapist out there who says she's going to do it all or is a lie. Yes. That's just thinking that you're all knowing and you're the greatest and no one can do what you do. Mm-mm. Well, maybe nobody can do what you personally do, but I can't also do what you do, right?
There's a lot I do not know, and I'm not scared to say that.
Right.
I have plenty of clients that have known me for a long time that will bring things to me, and I am confident in my ability to say, I have no idea how to help you with that.
Right.
I sure know how to get you to somebody.
Oh, absolutely.
I can play case manager real fucking quick.
Absolutely. Well, I think that, I don't know if that's just the social work side of us, but that is built into me, mm-hmm. that I'm going to give you other things, mm-hmm. right? I'm going to say, oh, there's the brain spa downstairs, yes. or there's there's a chiropractor that I think you should go talk mm-hmm. to, or there's the acupuncturist I think you should go talk to. Mm-hmm. I am not going to be your end all be all. And I don't you survived before you came to me, and you're going to survive yes. when you leave. But I want to give you better skills so when you leave, you can use those. Mm-hmm. And you're not, I'm not here to become enmeshed with you and right. change you and have you be reliant upon me forever. That is absolutely bad therapy.
Agreed.
Is that a word? Bad.
Did you
I didn't beat it enough. It's done.
It's done. And forgive me, listener, for sounding a little defensive, but I was worried in responding to this comment because I do manage our Instagram and TikTok account, so mystery solved there.
It's her.
It's me. If you don't like what you hear, come to the source. But I was struggling to kind of defend that position, and I don't know if it was a lack of words that I said, but I wanted to clarify. So
yeah, I think it's fair, right? It's not defensive. It's just saying, listen, I promise you, we care about people who yes. are going through that. Yeah. It's not our skill. Mm-hmm.
And coming from outside of our world, I can understand why that might be a difficult thing to grasp, because therapy is therapy. And
right, that's what people think, right?
A social worker is a social worker. And to the tiniest degree, you're right.
Yeah.
But you turn your head a little bit this way, you turn your head a little bit that way, and we come in all colors, right?
Literally. Yeah.
So it's definitely a bigger field than I think people who aren't involved as professionals or case managers mm-hmm. or, anyone in the field doesn't necessarily know how broad our spider web of influence and people and professionals and everything that goes on in our field. It's deep.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of work, but we don't do close to all of it.
Right, we can't.
Not even a dent. So we do what we can. We make our ripples that we hope turn into waves. That's really where we're at.
Yes. All right. So everybody that had nothing to do with this comment, thank you for listening to us. And even if you are the one that made the comment, I appreciate the comment so that we could go ahead and clarify our intentions of saying, when I say I don't work with acute, that I'm saying that for a specific reason, not out of I refuse to work with those people.
Right? Yeah, it's not personal.
Right.
It's
not a judgment
personal.
call. It's just a, whatever it is we've said 100 times. So.
Just rewind. Just hit that
Listen
like 15 seconds back button a few times. We'll hit it along the way. Just we've hit it a few times today. Yeah. So thanks for hanging in there with us. As always, please continue to engage with us and interact and continue to be curious in our comment section. I have no problem responding. It's not exhausting to me. I don't feel exhausted by this comment thread that I was responding in. I feel hopeful that these questions are being asked because I want it to be answered correctly. And that was my attempt here with Sherry. So continue.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah,
yes.
of course. Now on another tone, that comment from our really fun we're social workers video. No, that was just ignorant. That other comment was just fucking ignorant.
Oh shit.
Oh my gosh.
One?
That comment, oh gosh. I'm
embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed that I remember it now. But it was, we're social workers. We exploit vulnerable people or something like that.
Oh, is what they said. We did not say that. That's
no,
what
it was
were.
A comment that someone else said, and I had quite a few of my friends come to our defense there. I barely had to say anything.
I don't understand that comment, but I mean, obviously that was a personal thing that had happened to them.
That was coming from a place
that's a shame.
We were the face that received whatever was going on with them. They did not.
I'm sorry to them, not from me as a person.
I invited them to speak to us.
Right. I feel bad for them that they had that experience with a social worker that was negative. But and maybe somebody's had an experience with me that's negative. I'm not perfect, right?
That's fine.
But the idea is that, like with any profession, even Candy on her poll, she's got her benefits and non-benefits, right? So everybody's got, Candy may be an amazing person. We don't have to put her down.
But as a person, you're not going to mic drop my profession and then walk away because I will invite you to talk to me about it. I'm not scared of you. And to be honest, I do empathize and sympathize with folks who don't have great experiences in mental health, which is another reason we started this show, was to kind of speak to folks who are like, oh, maybe I'll do therapy, or I'm never doing therapy again. Like, this is still accessible, not therapy, but it's a way to kind of talk about something, listen about something that's not just like NPR or other people, like just sharing stories. We're down for it.
Exactly.
So
give us some more stuff to talk about. We're happy to answer questions. We're happy to.
We still want to do the advice column.
Oh yeah, send us stuff. I'd love to answer some things. Yeah.
No, we'll definitely do that. Yeah. I'll bring a couple next time. We got a couple submissions I didn't have prepared today.
Okay.
But as always, you guys, thanks for listening. This started as a bit of a rant, and I'm okay with being called defensive. I think
okay.
I was in defense of us and where we were, but you get such small snippets on TikTok and Instagram. Listen to the whole episode.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not that long. You'll be okay.
Exactly.
All right, y'all. But as always, share with people. Stay engaged. Stay in touch. Let's Be Real, Sherry and Tara, and all of our socials. And we will look forward to seeing you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.